Emotions in Distress said, I honestly don't like the opportunistic transfers look like panic buys. Well, so I don't know if this will make you feel any more at ease, mate, but we did consider Semenyo in the summer, but for the reasons outlined, as in not blocking pathways and whatnot, um, it wasn't it wasn't a deal that Liverpool looked to do. Now, let's be honest about it. January, in its own right, is going to be a concerning month for us because Salah's going to be away, and we're going to have to find a way to make it work. So if you can bring in Semenyo in January, I would say in a weird way that I would take that as a positive sign. And here's why. Because if you bring him in January, I think Liverpool are going to kind of have acknowledged that there's a problem with Salah. And again, it's okay to say that. I'm going to get flack for saying it, but it's right and it's honest. There is a problem with Salah this season. And the problem isn't solely with Salah, but we're not getting the Salah that we're used to. But then again, there's problems all around the pitch. So I'm taking this as Liverpool looking to the future, which is what I've said I want to see the club doing now. It's a perfect time to start to look to life after Salah when he's naturally not here for that time period. Manager's not going to get any flack. He can mess around with the team a little bit. He can try a few different variations, partnerships, and there'll be no media pressure on, Salah sulking on the bench, or the camera won't be panning over to the bench every 5 minutes to have a look at Mo's face because he'll be at the AFCON playing for Egypt. It just gives us a natural period. The real test is going to come after Salah returns. That is when it'll be interesting. Let's say, for instance, we sign Semenyo. Now, big if, but let's say we do. And he starts his life well at Liverpool. There's no way Salah could come back and walk straight back into that team. There's just no way. It doesn't matter what he's done in the past. It has to be based off form. And Semenyo, if he came in, it would be an indication to me that the club think things need to change a bit. And I'd be actually positive about it. This, by the way, I hate saying this. I hate it. I hate coming on here and talking in any way disrespectfully about Salah. But let's be honest about it. It's time to start looking to the Verts, to the Isaks, to the Ekatikes, to that next generation of Liverpool player. We can't now continue to just expect Mo to be the magic man, to just make it happen, to change the course of the game for us. We need to now start having others step up and taking that responsibility. Mark Kelly said, agreed, problems all over the pitch. A lot has happened, i.e. Jota. I think Salah has taken this deeply. Different system too. A lot of our attacks previously have been going down the right through Salah. Yep, and saying, look, we ran through some of the numbers that Anything Liverpool posted the other day about how we're being attacked, and we are very clearly being attacked down our right-hand side. It is not an accident. It is very clear through the numbers that we are being targeted down that side. 50% of all the attacks come down the right-hand side. The pitch is split into three segments. That's very clear. That 50%, just shy of 50% of the attacks are coming down our right-hand side. We need to sort that shit out, because obviously teams are looking at that and thinking, well, Salah's not tracking back to help. The forward or the fullbacks like to get forward. There's the space we're going to exploit. And let's be honest, I have enjoyed with it. Mark said, 100% agree, Craig. Again, causing a difference towards Salah and how everything is changing. Sad to see, but we need to evolve as Liverpool FC. Salah will forever be loved by us. Exactly. It's a really tricky situation to discuss, isn't it? Because we all wanted him to get his new contract because he deserved it. We all love him to bits. But it does feel like we need to look to the future now. And I keep coming back to say the same thing, but that's genuinely what I think needs to happen. It feels like we're carrying one or two passengers in the team now. And look, Liverpool's form problem is not down to Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah is not the root cause of why Liverpool are not at their best this season. That's, I hope, clear to everyone. But whatever way you add up the factors, we're not seeing Mo at his best or at his most content. And I again, I'm going to say, because I feel honestly it's honest, I think he's becoming more selfish in desperation at trying to force these issues, and that's detrimental to the team. I've never been somebody that felt like Salah was in the selfish camp. I've always stood up for him in that regard, but I am seeing this season that there are people better placed in certain positions, and his obvious and understandable desire to change it, I think he's making the wrong decisions. I think it's impeding his judgment, and the manager needs to hold him to account for that. Again, hate saying it, but it's how I really, really feel watching him. There are situations where he should be moving the ball to somebody else. We'd have had simple tap-ins. And even in his finishing, even his choice of when to shoot and how to shoot, at times I just feel, again, is questionable at the minute. And yeah, that's my hand on heart feeling of where we are with regards to Salah. I think he's trying to force it, and it's detrimental to the rest of the team. Bradley Warren said, at some point all the greats have to leave the club, but he'll forever be in our hearts. It's so tough though, because we are, oh, how do I say it? It almost feels as if we were wrong to want the new deal for him. And you can understand how, I want to try to phrase this respectfully, so just bear with me a second. When you look at last season for Mo, it was a bit of a unicorn season in his Liverpool career. Now, by that I mean he overperformed last season. And I'm sure that there were conversations with Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes and the recruitment team about the contract extension, thinking that they had doubts about him being able to replicate those numbers or that form again into the future, because it was such a unique season for him. And then you had all of us leaning in with emotion, seeing Mohamed Salah putting up record numbers and wanting him to stay, understandably, because we all love him. But I wonder, is there any buyer's remorse at the minute in the club? Do they feel like emotion led to the decision over fact because of the sentiment of fans, and because of, if you were to say no to a new deal for him based off the numbers he did do last season, how would that be received? I do wonder. I'd love to be in the mind of Hughes and Edwards now to think, are they looking at what's happening this season and thinking, shit, did we do the right thing? Someone said you guys are weird saying can't wait for the AFCON. I didn't say that. I don't remember saying I can't wait for the AFCON. I'd rather Mo was staying with us. What I have said is that the AFCON will give Arna a chance without any media pressure, or, every time Salah's not played, you know what happens. The camera pans to the bench every 2 seconds. Like when Trent came back for Real Madrid. Even when he wasn't on the pitch, the cameraman just from, and it becomes a narrative. And it becomes a problem that is not of our own making. And I don't like it. So the reason I'm intrigued is because that won't be there. There's no way to play Mo. He just isn't going to be around. So we have a chance to look at the balance of the team and maybe address some of the issues. Craig, if you were to let one player go, would it be Salah or Virgil or Alisson? It definitely wouldn't be Virgil. So let me say that one straight away. It's probably Salah now. I would have concerns about Alisson's injuries and how they're becoming a little bit more persistent. But in order, Salah would be the one I'd move on. Second would be Alisson, and then Virgil would be, I don't even want to entertain the Virgil thing, to be honest. But that's the honest answer. And we ran a poll last night where we asked if £100 million offer came in for a Salah in January, would you take it? And I remember it being in the 80% anyway last night, that you guys said yes, you would take £100 million offer in January. And I would agree. But remember the other time they came in and they tried to offer 150 million in January. If you go back and watch my streams, then I said don't take the money. And I still believe that was the right thing to say, don't take the money. But now for the first time, that type of offer would get my attention if I was Liverpool. And as a Liverpool fan, it will get my attention now. That's where we're at, which feels very surreal. 6 months on from an extension that he absolutely earned. But I do feel like he's aging, and I feel like it's showing. And I feel like we can talk about losing a yard of pace. I think it's more than that. I think it's losing a yard of pace. I don't think he's scoring as many variations of goals as he once did. I don't think he's dribbling as well as he once did. Certainly not defending as well as he once did. And I do feel like he is now, there's now a question of if he's an issue in the team rather than will he be the saviour. I feel like now for the first time the conversation of should he be starting is a genuine conversation. Whereas every other season we'd say, even if he's not in the game, he might have this moment, he might have this thing. I think if you took out penalties over the last few months and just looked at it, I don't know. I don't know if he'd be making a starting 11 week in and week out on merit based off what we're seeing. And I've never felt this way before. So it's a very emotionally confusing time.